Yo, what's going on? I know it's been a little while. Obviously, you can maybe tell by my background that I've moved. So I'm finally finished moving. KvK is in full swing, and I'm kind of in this limbo where I don't know when to make a video because it takes so much time and when to actually just focus on KvK. So I figured I could just do both at one time. As you see, I'm chaining and I'm also recording. So this is going to be a really quick update on where this KvK is now. I haven't had very many videos showing the fight specifically or breaking down different commanders or anything of the sorts. I've just kind of been streaming a lot of the times that we've been fighting, so you can go through my VODs and check that out. The next one is actually going to be tonight. It's going to be our last altar fight, and let's just zoom out real quick. I don't think that will be contested. Generally, our enemies, Earth and Wind Camp, are alternating, and this should be their turn to kind of get the free altars. So I probably won't be streaming that, but we do have our Pass 7 happening tomorrow, and that I will be streaming. So anyway, without further ado, let's go into kind of a big KvK update and see how this journey has played out so far. So before we hop into the story section as KvK, we'll go over my personal stats. You can see that my power hasn't changed much, but that's not because I haven't lost troops. My Halls of Heroes, I think, is about at 1 mil. Yeah, so we're at 1 million. The Pass 7 hasn't opened yet, so this was pretty much all from the Pass 4 fight. We garrisoned a lot with archers, so that's why you see that. And then I rallied. Funny enough, I was actually the rally lead, and we'll go into that. But with infantry, so I have some infantry deads. Overall, I've gained about 900 million kill points already. I don't know where that ranks amongst everyone in the kingdom, but I imagine it's pretty good. 900 kill points in Pass 4 and altar fights is a lot. I've been on a lot. I've been fighting a lot. You can see in my streams that some of my reports are pretty disgusting. I have some favorite here. Well, you can see that I'm also barb chaining a lot, but this is my Kahar the Hidden. But yeah, you know, some of these reports that I'm getting in altar are just absolutely disgusting. And I mean, this is, I don't want to say standard for me, but this is the kind of traits that I'm getting this KvK when I'm able to micromanage one march. So it's pretty good. I'd say my Nevsky Joan is clapping, my Guan's Hip is clapping, my Boudica ZL I didn't use much in altars just because of the march speed, but that also does really well. I know that Boudica, Zhuge with Nebuchadnezzar is crazy in altars as well. But all in all, yeah. So I just transferred all my resources from my farm over to my main. I do still have a decent amount of tokens left. I don't plan on zeroing my tokens for this KvK, but you never know, I'll do what I have to. As far as the honor roll goes, I've been barb chaining my life away, so I'm at rank number 2. This guy in first place, I truly don't know how he does it. If it's one person, then he must not be working, because the amount of honor gain that he has is pretty consistent and pretty crazy. Like I should get out more, and I am almost 100,000 honor behind him. Anyway, our alliance is, or not alliance, but coalition is first. We are a pretty active coalition. But yeah, so generally when I'm barb chaining, I use 2 to 3 marches. You can see that these are just gathering right now because I'm recording a video. But generally, I've got these 3 marches, or these 2 marches going at any one point. My crystal tech, I have not been buying the dailies. I never buy the dailies, but this is the first KvK that I've ever played, actually, where I bought the Mountain Warfares. And the reason why is because I know that OWR and 2638 specifically, my kingdom, was going to have to be the punching kingdom of our camp. And I kind of realized that, and I was like, okay, well, I've got a role to play. And it just so happens that I just finished my Tariq and my Sargon, so I'm also kind of our infantry rally lead. So that happens. I didn't even realize this wasn't 10 out of 10, but I haven't needed it, so I won't upgrade it. But this is my tech so far. So we're going into the Pass 7 opening. I'm going to work on getting Call to Arms to 10, and then finish up my improved morale to probably 10 out of 10 before I go for the last expanded formations, because I can only use 6 marches. There's no real use besides farming that I would get that 7th march. And then obviously I think the next Mountain Warfare pops, and I will pick that up, and hopefully I'll be finished with my tech going into Kingsland, and can continue to be a rally lead and swarmer that I normally am. So that's kind of the personal stats, and I'm just gonna do this in one take because I figured why not. As far as the story of the KvK goes, all right, we actually, if you look up, we lost our Zone 5 fight. So we are fire camp right where. Ooh, what time is this? Okay, 4 hours. All right, I gotta go to that. Anyway, we are fire camp, so we're here on the left, and I accidentally click again, and we were overzealous. All right, I'll say it that way. We thought that we would win this zone, and so what we did going into it is we actually dropped our forts on the right side of this sanctuary right here. If you know much about territory, know much about planning, that's a very aggressive move, right? Because this sanctuary is essentially the midpoint of these two passes and kingdoms. So we thought that we would take an aggressive position, kind of push them back, win the zone, etc., etc. We actually had a massive error where we really didn't finish building our flags, and they were able to build their flags before we did to our fort. Ended up hitting the fort, and we lost it, and it set us back. Excuse me, it set us back probably a good few hours with territory. They also had a really nice play where they had some hit squad down here that just went right to our flag line, and we basically got no value out of our craftsmen, which, I mean, honestly, they played it really well. They definitely out-strategized us. We lost it. I mean, we lost the zone, and it wasn't just because they were overpowering and stuff. You know, the fights and the kill points were actually pretty even, but essentially, this they outplanned us. So they did a really good job in the zone. We lost. We obviously moved into this zone. There's no fighting in this zone, and then we've had altar, and we've actually won every single altar that we've fought so far. So again, I streamed one of those. I think the other one was on my phone, so I couldn't stream it. But if you want to go back and watch the VOD from that altar, it's actually pretty great. As far as our allies go, water, they have been down here. I would say it's been pretty one-sided. Wind camp is not very strong. I don't want to be rude, but that's just kind of how it goes. So Wind camp has a lot of T4, a lot of younger players, and Water's just kind of been able to run over them. There's a whole lot of backstory with diplomacy and exactly how DKP and kills and all that stuff and the point system is working for who gets the star in the end. I will tell you right now that it's a close race because Fire has more kills, but you obviously get points for winning your zones, so basically Water got a few points from that. Anyway, you can see a pretty defensive formation set up from Wind. They obviously know that they're going to lose the pass. They're not going to win the open field. So they're just playing the stall game until pass 8's open and we run into Kingsland. For us, like I said, the pass 7s are going to open. And we're thinking, I don't know if we're going to win, but I don't think we're going to get pushed out either. So we are just going to have a stalemate for, I don't know, 3-4 days until Kingsland arrives. And then all hell breaks loose, and it'll be a great time. I think because I started mentioning it, I'll go into kind of how 2638 has been performing. And I will have up on screen here shortly, but we have data that we can actually link to you from the past 4 fight, and I'll just kind of show you how 2638 has been doing, and I think it's really good. And I'm proud of my kingdom. Win or lose, I think we've done really well. So anyway, let's hop over. Okay, and here we are. I've looked at it a little bit. My camera isn't blocking the data too bad, but we're going to scroll down anyway just so that you can see it. So here we have the pass 4 opening and then the pass 4 conclusion. Again, like I said, Fire lost their fight, so theoretically we might have been fighting for longer, but this is the overall camp data. So let's start with Fire. We have 1032 at almost 8 billion total kill points. 2638 at 17 billion. We have 2675 at 6.3, 6.4, and we have 2762 at 3.7. And then hopping over to 1860 and Water Camp, we have 1860 at 2.4, so the least of our allies so far. We have 1981 at 14.5, a very impressive showing, and they, along with 2638, are kind of the powerhouse punching kingdoms, as I mentioned earlier in this video. So it's very obvious that Lilith Matchmaking knew what they were doing, and they said, all right, one super strong punching kingdom in each camp, essentially. And then we have 2641, who got 5.5, and we have 2837 with 9, essentially, billion kill points. The total came out to Fire Camp with 35 billion total kill points, and Water Camp with 31.4, 31.5-esque total billion kill points. Now, like I said, there's a star system and background with diplomacy. We're not going to get all into that because this is just kind of a stats and overview. But what I want to say is, at the very least, I am very, very, very proud of 2638 and the performance that they've had so far this KvK. I've contributed as much as I possibly can to that effort. I've lost a lot of sleep over it. But regardless, I'm not the only one doing it by any means. There are a lot of members in our camp and kingdom who are doing a lot for the greater good of the kingdom and to win this KvK, and it makes me proud, honestly. So that being said, I'll come out with another video at the end of KvK with the total individual stats as far as contribution and DKP for our kingdom, but for now I'm just kind of leave that alone and focus on camp and kingdom stats as a whole. So let's go back into in-game, and we'll just kind of conclude the video and go from there. Alright, and just to wrap things up here, it is now nighttime and we have the Mountain Warfare pop. So I did make a little bit of advancement on my tech. I unlocked the second extra march, so I have 7 marches total now. 9 out of 10 improved morale, so I'm full whaling it at this point. I have 7 marches going, and the fight is going to start tomorrow morning, and I need to get some sleep. So last disclaimer before I finish making this video and start editing, I do have unofficial data from our enemies, from a friend that I have in there. I'm not going to disclose that data just because we did not do the scans personally, and I don't want to say anything that's untrue about any of the other camps. So I'll just say it for now that the other camps are doing very well, and like I said earlier, I mean, Earth especially has done a great job, especially in their war planning, and so I give them only props for that. But it is time for me to honestly go to bed, but finish editing this video and then go to bed because I have to be up at about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and it is now 11:30 p.m. my time. So a little bit of sleep, but I wanted to get a video out for you guys so that you kind of know what's going on. I will be streaming tomorrow or whenever you watch this video, so probably not tomorrow for the majority of you, but it will be the 24th of the month, and so yeah, that'll be when I'll be streaming, and you can go back and watch the VOD. It's going to be pretty crazy. I have, obviously, as you can see on the screen, 4.6 billion kill points. That will be at 5 billion probably by the next time you look at this account. My goal for this KvK again was 5 billion, so I think I'm going to pass that because it has been a hellish KvK. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Please give this video a like and sub if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one and hopefully on stream. Alright guys, good night.